Hey guys, welcome back. This is History of Power Rangers Season 3, Episode 29 of my show, but this is about Episode 28 of Season 3. But before I start talking about it, I just want to mention two things. The first is that since we're on Episode 28, that means this is the last video to cover before the Master Vile and the Metallic Armor 3-part episode. And the other thing I wanted to say is, since it's Halloween and everything right now, I just wanted to wish everyone a safe and happy Halloween and everything. And because of COVID and stuff, just hoping you're keeping yourself safe and everything. I'm sorry I got off topic there for the previous little bit. I just wanted to get those two things out of the way. Anyway, this is History of Power Rangers Season 3, Episode 29 of my show, but this is about Episode 28 of Season 3. And Episode 28 in Season 3 in the original Power Rangers... Oh, and since we're on Episode 28, it means 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. That means we got 6 more videos left in the main segment. But anyway, this is History of Power Rangers Season 3, Episode 29 of my show, but this is about Episode 28 of Season 3. And Episode 28 of Season 3 is known as A Chimp in Charge. Now, the reason why is because of the chimp sign language thing. I'll explain more about that later. I just wanted to get that out of the way there. Basically what happens is, the way this episode starts off is Miss Appleby explains in this episode, she explains to the students that for their final assignment of the school year, they can they have to do a report on any type of language. It could be any one of their choosing, and then that's when Bulk actually inquires about that, because he says he wonders about English, like, and then Miss Appleby says yes, even English. But then Bulk finds out that he wonders that passing this assignment is going to be a breeze, because all he and Skull have to do is get up there and start talking. But then Miss Appleby explains to them that they will fail the assignment if they subject the class to a couple of minutes of senseless rambling. Oh my god, which is kind of funny in this respect. And then basically, what happens is class gets dismissed in this episode, and then basically what happens is, after that, the other Rangers are wondering what Aisha and Catherine's what language that Aisha and Catherine are gonna do for their the assignment, and then Aisha said that she thinks that she'll let Catherine explain, and then that's when she comes walking in with this little chimp, which, now this is the reason why it's called a chimp in charge, is because of the chimp, and it's a chimpanzee, which is a type of monkey, and then it's a female, and the other Rangers are wondering what his name is, but then Catherine explains that her name is Kelly, because she's a female primate, which, basically, and because basically what her and Aisha's, what they're doing for the report for, language is they're working on, the sign language kind of thing, sort of, because the way chimps and communicators with sign language, sort of like with pictures, that's sort of like the hieroglyphs type of thing. And then basically, that's when Vulcan Skull, well, because the monkey basically gets attached to Tommy, and then basically, Vulcan Skull start walking up in their police uniforms, and actually, the funny thing about that, that's the thing that's gonna actually happen after, but this next scene happens with Rita. She's like, "Oh, how cute! The Power Rangers have a new mascot! It even looks a little bit like you!" And the person she's speaking to is Goldar in this case, because she's like, she tells him in a joking sense where she's like, "Oh, how cute! The Power Rangers even it's good. It looks a little bit like you." And then Goldar gets annoyed with that. He says that I do not look like him. And then Rita makes another little joke about that where she's like, "You're right, Goldar. He's much better looking." And then basically Zed walks in on the conversation, and he's wondering what Rita's laughing about him, and Goldar's like, "It's her fault. She said I look like that." And then he uses his visor to look down at the earth, and then basically when he sees the chimp, he's like, I don't see what the funny thing is to me. Did it ever even occur to both of you that we could use that chimp to destroy the Power Rangers? And then Rita's saying that she was thinking about it, but then Zen interrupts her, and then he basically he sends and then they decide to use. That's when they decide to use the chimp to destroy the Rangers, basically. And then this goes back into the segment with the Rangers here. The reason why Catherine explains the reason why she has the chimp is basically because of the fact that she her aunt was working for a lecture and brought Kelly over, but she's at the lecture right now, so she didn't want Kelly to be left alone. So basically, that's why Catherine and Aisha basically volunteered to take care of her while she's at that lecture. And then basically, now this also sort of leads into a little subplot that's gonna happen with Vulcan Skull. I say subplot because basically, what happens is, Lieutenant Stone in this case is wondering what's taking Vulcan Skull so long, and then that's when Vulcan Skull show up, and then he gives them their assignment, which is he tells them that there's been a basically a sort of a robbery at Ernie's farm, Ernie's Outdoor Cafe, and then basically Bulk's wondering what was stolen, money, and stuff like that. But then Lieutenant Stone says bananas, and then when they find out about the banana thing, Vulcan's called like bananas, and then basically Ernie says that they were supposed to be used for his smoothies, or for whatever reason, for his outdoor cafe and juice bar kind of thing. But he took one he turned around 1 minute and they were gone. But there's actually a bit of a funny reason why they're missing in this episode, but I'll leave that when I get to the end. Basically, what happens is Bulk and Skull say that they're on it and they'll catch that banana bandit, and then basically what happens is after that, the Rangers then, Catherine says that her didn't want Kelly to get lonely while she was away, so while she was at the lecture, so she gave Kelly to them for them to look after while she was doing the lecture, and then basically they were gonna be doing the sign language thing, and they're wondering if they can do it, and then basically what happens is after that Catherine said that, well, even if they can't, just spending the time with Kelly is gonna be funny either way. And then basically what happens is that's when Bulk and Skull start walking by and they see the monkey, and then Bulk makes a joke at the time, which is really a joke because the humans are sort of descended sort of from apes and everything. Anyway, well, not really, but basically a human is basically a moderately evolved ape, essentially. Now, I'm just referencing another show that I used to watch when I was a kid when I mentioned that part, but anyway, continuing on with what I was saying, basically, then what basically happens is, Kimberly and Aisha are back, at the house, with Kelly, spending time with the chimp in this episode, and then, that's when, Bulk and Skull basically, well, because basically what happened was when they saw the chimp, Bulk basically explained to Skull, who do they know, that could handle, working with bananas very well, and that's when Skull mentioned about his cousin Theorem, about a cousin of his, and that he's away for a while, and then basically, he's, saying that he mentions the monkey, and then, now I'm just bringing that up since I sort of skipped past it. I didn't really skip past it, I didn't really skip past it, but I sort of, forgot to mention it, but anyway, that's why I'm bringing it up now. Anyway, Bulk and Skull then use, a banana to get the monkey out of the house so that they can find who they think is the banana bandit. And then after, Kelly gets out of the house, basically, what happens, well, first what actually happens is, before the house part, that's when Zed sends, Finster, down with this machine to basically, along with some tangas, down with this machine to basically, turn the chimp, Kelly into a monster, and then Aisha and Catherine are fighting the Tangas at this point, and while Finster's still trying to get the monkey, like he's like, "Hey there, this is for you," and then basically he chases after it a little, and then basically he's asking, or don't you want to grow up big and strong like King, what's his name, and then which is, I think, a reference to King Kong, which is a giant ape, which, but the Tengas and then get away, and basically Finster also gets away because he wasn't able to transform the monkey, and then that leads into the part that I was talking about before I backtracked to this part. Anyway, basically what happened was Bulk and Skull got Kelly out of the house by using a banana in order to have them. In order to have the monkey help them find the person who they thought was the Banana Bandit. And then after she gets out of the house, Catherine is wondering where she is, and then basically she's basically explaining, then Aisha said that she doesn't know what, then they decide to basically start looking for her, and then basically, that's when Bulk and Skull use the monkey to find who the person who they think is the Banana Bandit, and then the chimp manages to find a man that's selling a fruit cart, which is at a fruit cart which is selling bananas, and then the owner of the fruit cart sees the monkey and asks that does he want to help him sell the food, and then basically he says that he doesn't see why not, but if he wants to work for him, she has to have the right clothes, and then he basically does this little montage where it has the guy dressing the monkey up in these different types of clothes, and then basically that's when Bulk is gonna see the person that they think is the Banana Bandit, so they go to confront him, and then it goes back into a scene with Zed is like, "You mean you can't even transform a harmless chimp? What kind of a fool are you?" Like he's like, "What? The fool are you?" And then basically Finster says that he not sure that's a question that he's never thought before. Now the fool thing is what I don't think it was a fool. I'm just having a little bit of a mental block. But anyway, I know that Zed gets a little agitated with Finster for failing to transform the monkey, and then that's when he basically decides to use his staff to transform it himself, and he's like, "I'll show you. I'll turn that chimp into a sinister simian." And then he uses his staff to basically transform Ellie into a monkey-based monster. And then basically, that's when Bulk and Skull were confronting the person who they thought was the, like I said, quote-unquote Banana Bandit. And then the monkey got transformed. And then basically, after the monkey is transformed, Zordon contacts the other Rangers on their communicators, and then he tells them to teleport to the command center, and basically they teleport to the command center, and then they're wondering what's going on, and then Zordon tells Catherine that he's afraid that her aunt's not going to be very happy about what happened to Kelly, and then basically, Zordon explains that Rita and Zed have transformed Kelly into a sinister simian, and that's when the Rangers devise a plan to get Kelly back to normal, and then basically what happens is after that, Billy tells them that basically maybe if he could reverse it, get a piece of of the monster, he could reverse engineer it in order to change Kelly back to normal, and then they think that's a good idea, so they morph to their ranger forms to get the sample and deal with Kelly, and then basically the Rangers deal with Kelly, and then Catherine's trying to appeal to Kelly because Kelly's her friend, and then basically she's saying that she notices her, and then basically Billy's explaining to Kelly, who's turned into a monkey monster at this point, that he just needs to extract a sample from her so that he can reverse engineer an antidote for her to be turned back to normal, and then but then she gets annoyed by him pulling at it, and then she swipes at him, and then he's telling her not to touch. She's telling him not to touch her, and then basically basically what happens is after that after that the Rangers basically continue fighting her, and then after that what happens is Billy gets a way to synthesize the antidote to turn Kelly back to normal, and then basically what happens is after when he gets back from his lab he finishes it, but that's when Rita and Zed make the monkey monster grow, so the Rangers have to call on their Shogun swords, and then basically what happens is while they're in the Shogun swords, the Sinister Simian keeps fighting them a bit, and then she says, "This is more fun than a barrel of monkeys," and stuff like "monkey see, monkey do." And then Billy explains that he needs to hit the monster in the right spot, close to the heart where the memories are kept, in order for the antidote to work. So they do that, and they manage to turn Kelly back to normal, and then the Rangers are happy that she's back to normal, and then basically after that Rita and Zed get upset that the monkey monster failed them again, like the monkey failed to defeat the Rangers. And then basically what happens is after that the Rangers are back in the youth center at this point, and then basically what happens is that Catherine and Aisha said that their report went well and they worked well with Kelly, and then basically Bulk and Skull show up with the guy who they thought was the banana bandit at the fruit stand with Kelly, and Ernie, they explain to him how they got him, but then Ernie tries to assure him that, and after a little bit of talking, Ernie reassures him that he figured out what the problem was. The reason why the bananas were missing in this case was because the new stock boy put them in the freezer by mistake. Luckily, he found them before they got ruined, and then basically Bulk saying that, so, no case after all, and then basically he's apologizing to them, and then Bulk saying to the citizen that he can go, and then the guy's like, "You'll be hearing from my attorney, man." And then basically what happens is after that, basically the monkey thing, that's sort of basically where this where this episode stops. So if you guys like this video when I post it, just please give this video the real best you guys can. And then we'll see you guys probably next time for the next Power Ranger video. But until then, guys, like I always tell you, two things. Like I always tell you with the series, may the power protect you always, and have a happy Halloween and stuff. But until next time, guys, like I always tell you with the series, may the power protect you always.